Hello everyone and welcome to Werven's World. Today I would like to give you 5 tips for new players on Evochron Legacy. Now Evochron is a game I only recently started playing, so I'm also kind of a beginner at the game. However, I've been doing some reading and browsing the forums and stuff, and I came across a couple of tips that really helped me increase my enjoyment of the game. So I thought I would make a video basically explaining these tips, and hopefully you will find them useful. So let's get started. Tip number 1, docking. Docking can be a kind of a frustrating process if you don't know about the following tip. I was very frustrated at the beginning that whenever I pressed basically my hyperdrive in order to go to a station, let's say this station here, then I would just arrive at the station and I would crash into it, which was a bit frustrating, and I didn't really know what I was doing wrong until I read a tip on the forums, and it's actually quite logical because I just forgot about a thing that they said in the tutorial, that all the entrances are basically leveled with the galactic plane. So basically if you hold control, your ship will just adjust to the galactic plane. You can see this line here, and that's where all entrances of everything are aligned to. Then if you look here to the compass, you will see these blue dots, not the gray ones but the blue ones. If you align with any of these and then press F8 for the hyperdrive, then you will arrive exactly perfectly in the dock. And that's because you don't travel into a straight line to the station, but you travel there in a bit of a different way. So let me show you what I mean. Basically, put your speed to around 1000. If you are at IDS 6, which I normally am, I just press 3. And now I can press F8 because I'm aligned with the galactic plane as well as with the blue dot. And there we go, we just arrive exactly at the right spot, which is really nice. So now we dock there, and well, I didn't crash, so that's perfect. Tip number 2, if you are just starting out and you don't really want to fight or anything, you are in a safe system if you are in Pearl. So you don't really need any equipment to fight with, and you can actually take that off your ship and put all of that kind of extra space into, for example, cargo bays in order to have better mining runs. So how to do that is you enter the station, then you go to the shipyard, and then, well, this is the entire user interface to customize your ship, and you can put on a lot of different parts which are very expensive. But you can actually configure your frame by clicking on this button called Frame Config, and then you can redistribute your design capacity. So the frame I'm using at the moment is called the Osprey, and it has 15 design capacity, which are all points that I can use and put into different things such as cargo bays and energy cores. Well, I don't really need any countermeasures, nor do I need secondary weapons, nor do I need hull armor plating, so I took that all off. And then I put it into, for example, cargo bays and fuel tanks, as well as equipment hardpoints. So basically you can just rearrange these by clicking on it. And now, for example, I have 2 left, which I could put into cargo bays, for example, and so on. When you click OK, let's change a little bit so I can show you the price. Then you see here that I will lose 10,000 credits by doing this frame reconfiguration. So it's not very expensive. So it's really worth doing, because after one mining run you already would have made that money back easily. So and now this is the same as a hat, so that doesn't cost me anything. But once you've done that, you basically click trade and build, and your ship gets built, and then you are ready to do whatever you wanted to do with your ship. So that's how you reconfigure it. Tip number 3, if you really like mining, you should definitely buy a deploy constructor. So once you have bought that, then you have to have 2 metal in your cargo hold as well, which you can mine from asteroids. And then once you're in an asteroid field, you can deploy a mining probe. And this one will, for example, be deployed around this asteroid. When I click it, it will start mining. So now you can see here that the mining probe has 194 seconds remaining. So in the meantime, I can also mine just by pressing Alt B, which will automatically keep mining. And as you can see, I configured my ship to have a fair amount of cargo bays. I have 7. So now it'll just start filling up the cargo bay with the platinum I'm mining, but I'm also waiting for the mining probe to be ready. So I will be back once this is almost done. As you can see, the mining probe is almost finished, and I have, in the meantime, I have mined almost 3 stacks of platinum, basically 75 platinum. So I will stop that now. And then you will see that the mining probe basically drops off a cargo somewhere. And there we go. Deploying mining probe finished, containers ready to be picked up. And as you can see, there is the cargo. You can also find it on the map. It's kind of like this gray star. So I can just fly there. And crash into it, as always, because I'm terrible at flying. And there we go. And now we can mine this. So basically you just hold B. And it fills up your cargo hold. There we go. Now we finished the cargo. And now our entire cargo bay is full of platinum. So we basically, in the same time that we mined 75 platinum, the computer mined another 100. So it really helps to improve your mining runs by a lot. Of course, a deploy constructor costs a fair amount as well. This one sells for 569,000, so you do need to save up a little bit, but it's definitely worth it because now I can just sell all this platinum for quite a bit. So yeah, deploy constructors together with mining probes. You just have to make sure you have 2 metal with you and then everything will be fine. Tip number 4. So now we have been mining a lot of platinum. I've got my entire cargo hold full of platinum, but because I've been selling a lot of platinum already, platinum isn't worth very much here anymore. I only get 640 each, so I could sell each stack for 16,000, which is not a lot. How do you find out where you can actually sell it? Well, there's 2 things you can basically look up. First of all, if you click on News and Information, you can see the local prices, and you can see here that platinum is only worth 91% of its base price, which is not a whole lot. So where should we sell it? Well, then we can go to navigation and you can click on quadrant so that you see all the explored systems, and then you can click on either territory or technology, it doesn't matter that much. And then you can see here, when I hover over Pearl, you can see that platinum, which is on the 2nd column, the 3rd row, is in yellow, so it's not worth very much. Then, however, if I hover over here the other system called Rukar, then you can see that platinum is worth a lot there. So I will now go there and see how much I can make from it. I am now arriving at the station in Rukar, and as you can see, the platinum is worth 1071 each. So instead of, what was it, I think 16,000, I can sell everything for 26,000. So it's very much worth looking at that navigation map to see what everything is worth. Tip number 5, make sure to also have a fuel converter if you're mining in a nebula, because that can increase your profits even more. A fuel converter costs a fair amount, and of course it takes up an equipment spot, but I think the advantages are quite nice. First of all, a fuel converter basically turns out hydrogen from a nebula and some other things as well, for example from planet rings and stars, turns it into fuel. So now I'm mining and you can see my fuel going up, which is nice. However, it does exactly the same when I am mining an asteroid. So now I am mining this asteroid here, and as you can see, I am getting stuff in my cargo hold, as well as my fuel going up. So that's really nice. So basically you can do 3 things if you also have a deploy constructor. You can mine for fuel, you can mine with a mining probe, and you can mine with your normal mining beam. So now I'm getting through 3 things that will give me profits in the end. After which you can sell some of the fuel, but how you do that is a little bit tricky. So once we've done this mining, we will go back to the base and I'll show you how to sell the fuel. Alright, my fuel hold is full. It's reached 1,000. That's because I only have 2 fuel pods in here. You can increase this in your frame configuration if you want to hold more fuel, so that's completely up to you. But basically now I have 1,000 fuel as well as having a lot of minerals and metal in there. So now I am ready to sell it. So let's find a place to sell it, like this station here. And I'm gonna line up to the galactic plane as well as to the station entrance. Make sure you don't hit any asteroids on the way out. I am going about 1,000 speed and press F8. And now we are here. Be sure to turn off your speed. With backspace you can just put it to 0, otherwise you're just wasting fuel. And now we can actually sell our fuel. So how exactly do we do that? Well, it's a bit of a trick. You need to go to refuel, and then there's no sell button here, but you can actually enter a negative amount. So let's say I want to sell about 500 fuel. You type in 500. And for that 500 fuel, I got 32,000 credits. And then I can sell all of my minerals as well, although they're not worth here very much. But basically, that gives me a bit of an extra income every time I go mining for metals, as well as giving me fuel that I just need, because whenever you want to refuel your ship, you will also be paying quite a bit for fuel, so it saves money on that as well. So a fuel converter is quite nice to have. Alright, these were my 5 tips for new players. I hope you found them useful, and see you next time.